Hi, as mentioned over WhatsApp, we have just released some new features into the Boreze platform, and I want to use this video to demo some of the features. Before I switch to the platform, just a reminder of what some of the things we have released in this new release. So generally, there is a new home screen, so that will lead you to have shortcuts to some of the key modules in the platform. Then we have a new daily dashboard that shows some your KPIs. Then we have also improved on the search functionality, so you can now search by date, customer name, and phone number. Then also we try to make the user interface to be more user friendly, so it's easier to use. Then also we have in your session reports. So for each agent in your session, you now have some monthly figures where you can now compare what this month versus the last month. So those are the general updates for specific ones. So for trips, for now, so customers, if you have a group booking, let's say someone comes and wants five tickets. So what will happen is that you can print those tickets. It will print the tickets separately, and also you can decide to either have just one name duplicated on the different tickets, or you can decide to put different names on the different tickets. Ideally, you should do the later. So this is a key improvement for group bookings. Then we have the passenger. So now when you print out the tickets, the passengers do have QR codes on the ticket, so you can use that for boarding. I'm going to show that. Then also for online customers, what happens is now they have the possibility to manage their bookings. They can change the trip and change the seat if your company it's allows changing of seats. Then but that can be done within 24 hours. And for any change, you the cashiers or the agents will be notified via WhatsApp. Then we have online. For online customers, if you have to book, let's say, two or three seats, you will be forced to enter the names of the three passengers. Unlike before, where one, let's say, someone does a booking with five seats, the five seats have just one name. For parcel specific, we have cashiers can now open multiple tabs to serve customers. So let's say, for example, you have a customer standing in front of you and you're filling that information. For some reason, there's a delay. You can open another tab, then you serve the next customer, and then you can come back to the previous tab to continue if you want. So all of these changes are currently live. And one important thing is you probably need to clear the browser cache so that you can have so the new version can load properly. Okay, so let's look into the platform, how this actually works. um yeah, I'm already speaking in English, but I'll put the platform in French for the French users, so you can follow with the demo. So you clearly see when you log in, you now have a different view where you have shortcuts to go to where where it's necessary for you. Let's say, for example, I'm an administrator. I can go straight away and I see maybe key KPIs, what is happening with some trend analysis and everything. So like total reservation, total parcels, hires, let's say baggage, luggages, and all those things, and expense, and it also gives you the net, so you can compare. It's a comparison between today and yesterday. So those are things you can do. You can do it for a specific branch. So you can select as an administrator. You can see for a specific branch. You can also change and you see for a specific date. So for example, this date there was no booking. Okay, so that's one. In terms of so like I mentioned in the previous in the message, you can see you have different now. The home menu has changed. Let's go straight to let me see. I think I've so yeah, we have. If I look at new home screen, so you have a new daily dashboard. Then the cleaner interface and monthly figures are shown in the session view. So I'm going to show that now. So let's go to, let's say, trip service. This is an example of a trip. So I have a trip from Yaoundé to Bamenda, just an example. If I open my session report, you can open the menu. If I go here, so service voyage. If I open my session report, my sessions, you now see I have a total of 30,250 as of this month, as of this day, against last month. So um, it's do a comparison. So that's what I mentioned about new KPIs in your session statement. So let me just terminate this session and start a new one. So when I start, I can book tickets. You already know the drill. So let me just do one. You just create. So we also make it possible that you don't need to scroll a lot. So you can now just select the seats and you select put in a mobile number and you create the reservation. Normally, if you have your printer, you can print. I don't have, so I'll just clear that. Then for the multiple bookings, if you see, if I select, let's say, let me do two seats. If I do two seats, I can decide to I can decide to have just one name on all the tickets. If I want to separate the tickets and have different names, I will untick the box that says I want to separate. So when I untick, it will now require me to enter a different name. So if I do, so for example, I don't have, let me just repeat, let me repeat my number. So it gives you the opportunity to be able to enter different names. And when you click on the create the booking, you notice that it's going to separate the different. So this is the first ticket, and this is the second ticket. So you clearly see how this it would separate the different tickets for you automatically. So the normal things you usually do, nothing has really changed. One thing that we also changed was just navigation. You should be able to play around with the different navigations, and as you use the platform, you will see other changes. And you also notice that for those multiple bookings, we don't put them again on one line, so they are now separate records. You now see C10 and C11 separate records, which helps you to also manage one booking at a time. So this is one thing that we have done. Um, so now if I have to do boarding, so when I start boarding, now you have the possibility to do the regular manual boarding, or you can scan with your QR code. So in this case, so if I do this, you see, so this is it. I can now, this is, yeah, that's how my phone, I'm using my phone camera. So for this, normally in the ideal situation, you have to log in on your phone. Then on your phone, when you switch to scan, the customers are in front of you with their tickets. You just have to use the scanner, and it will scan the ticket. So that's how it works. Hopefully you're able to do this, but the thing is, just use your phone and you should be able to scan the tickets, and it will automatically board in the passengers. But for this demo, I will just do the regular one, so I can save, and that's that. You can terminate. You already know the drill as well. I can close. I can put minus. So let's just say that is the amount. I can choose that, and I can validate. So that is how you normally, those are things you already know. I'm not going to emphasize more on that. So you can go to my session. You now see the drill, everything that you need to know. I think these are things you're aware of. Then I also mentioned we now have a more, like, now to find bookings. If I want to find a booking, I can go to this section. I can search by date. I can also filter by branch or origin. So for example, I want to see just maybe the ones from Douala. These are all bookings from Douala today. I can also search and filter. If I want, I can filter by customer's name, if I customer's number, sorry. When I do that, I'm able to see all the bookings for that customer. So very, very important. Okay, next, for so maybe in terms of, let me see. So there's no incoming trips. So normally you have incoming trips. You'll be able to close all your incoming trips here in this section. So let me see if I have, not, I don't have anyone for this day. Okay, let's move to service de colis. So the thing we change for colis is for parcel is, so the same thing for sessions. You can still also see the total for what you have made so far for the month versus last month. So that is another important improvement. I mentioned that let's say I'm serving a customer, and for some reason the the person is not ready to pay yet. So if I fill in everything, the person is not ready. So I'm just going to say I'm testing, and I have one. When it's time to pay, the person is not ready. So normally, what you can do, you can open another tab. So you see, if I will have the Boreze thing open here, I can do another, so I can start registering another parcel while this is open. Take note, I've opened another tab. This is still on standby, right? So I can maybe serve this other client. Let me quickly serve this client. So Douala, let me just do this and this. Select testing 2 or 3. Yeah, this customer is ready to pay. Let's say value it at 15,000, so the price is 1.5. I can create my ticket. Please take note, the customers can also use this if they scan this section, this QR code, they can track their parcel. So maybe it's also good to tell your customers that they can track. We always send the messages to the receiver, so the sender receives a ticket and receives a QR code that can be used for tracking. So that customer has paid. I can return now to this other customer, and maybe the customer is now ready. Then I can also create this other ticket. So you clearly see these are the new developments for Parcel. I hope I did not forget anything. We have mentioned the multiple seats, that is good. We have mentioned the QR code. Like I said, online customers can now manage their bookings. For that, maybe I can show you an example. Do I have an online booking here? So for online booking, customers, for this I will need to, normally this is not, I didn't do it on production, just a minute. So customers will be able to manage their booking on their own. So I don't have an example for that. So yeah, so customers will be able to manage their bookings on their own. They will have the manage bookings. When they receive their notifications, they'll be able to click on the manage, and they can change their seat or their trip date, and the cashiers will be notified. Okay. I don't know if there's any other thing else interesting for me to show you. If not, if you do have any question, don't hesitate. So this is an example of a trip. So for example, the trip has already expired, which means that the person paid is less than 24 hours. In fact, the person paid yesterday. They can no longer change your seat. So if they could, you will see a change seat or change trip date. So those are the changes that we have made. The other, maybe one last thing. So if you go to like reports, if I go to reports, I can see the same thing I showed you in the home dashboard. So you can always come here and play around. Okay, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate. Or any challenges, if there's something not going right, you can always contact us. We keep making changes, and you can reach out to us via the WhatsApp via WhatsApp group, or you can reach out to me personally. Thank you.